Awesome. Hello, greetings everyone. My name is Jeannette Boyd. I am your instructor for tonight for HASS University. Today is November 16th, and today we will discuss model poses. While we're waiting for our next slide, I want to make sure that we take just a few seconds and let me introduce myself again to you all. I've been in the industry for about 4 years. I've learned most of my information on my own. And the information that I have learned is mostly by being observant. When I'm at photo shoots, when I'm at fashion shows, all of those things, you have to really take time and understand exactly what is going on, who's doing what, and that's where you learn your hints and tips at. So what I want to do is I want to tell you a little bit more about posing. I know this is a subject we're going to go into, but I want to share with you my personal experience. After 4 years in modeling, I've also been a part of pageantry as well. And all of that, again, is tied back to posing. And the one thing about posing is it's so important that you come across confident in your poses, that you know how to stand, you know how to accentuate your best asset, how to hold your hands, how to look natural while you're posing. And that's the key part, because most companies want to see you in a natural state in a pose mode. So if that gives you a little bit more background of how I do. For posing, I personally, when I'm on photo shoots, I personally kind of go with the energy of what I'm feeling from the photographer. I also go from the standpoint of what it is that I expect for myself. After these photos are taken, what am I going to do with these photos? What is the overall picture that I want to come across? So that's important when I go into a photo shoot and I start to negotiate with the photographer. Those are things that I want to talk about, is how to get the best look for what I hope to pass along. So with that said, let's dive into a little bit more instructions that's a little bit more charted. And again, I want to welcome you this evening. It is currently 7:12 p.m. on November 16th, and I can't thank you enough for being here with me today. I think this is an amazing course, and we're going to just take our time through it. I'm not going to rush, because I want to make sure that if you have any questions, I'm here for you. We're going to answer your questions. We're going to give you some information, and then I'm going to tell you how that is tied into one portion or another. Again, today is HASS University, model poses. If we can move to the next slide, please. Okay, so while we're waiting for the next slide, I do want to go into a little bit more in depth about model poses. Your poses, one of the most important things about posing is that, and I see this commonly in the industry, and it kind of identifies when you're working or when you're seeing a new model versus a seasoned model. And one of the telltale signs is how they're posing. Sometimes our models get comfortable with posing one particular way, meaning the same face expression, the same body language. And again, I see it often. I also hear that a lot from the photographers. Photographers have taken the time and shared with me on many occasions that, there are times where they actually have to coach a model through their poses one at a time. Otherwise, they get 20 pictures of the same face expression, the same body pose, maybe a hand movement in the course of maybe 1 inch. So I say to you, with the time that you invest in preparing for a photo shoot, the last thing you want is 200 pictures, and I'm not saying that you will receive those, but 200 pictures, and you've only provided 2 different poses. That's key. We have to make sure that we teach you and share with you the proper ways to pose, because posing makes the difference. Another reason why you don't want to pose the same way in all your photos is because at some point you are going to actually have these photos a part of your comp card. If your comp card has 3 to 5 pictures, no, I'm on my computer, and if you are looking at 3 to 5 pictures on a comp card, and that comp card all looks the same, it really doesn't give the agents or the casting director an opportunity to see you in any other fashion other than that one pose, or that same smile, or the same hand gesture. So again, in your photos, in your poses, you want to become confident. You want to become natural in it. And that may mean that you may have to practice. Practice, practice, practice. All that helps you feel comfortable when you're in front of the camera and you can't really see what the photographer sees, but you have to trust their eye. You have to give them something to trust. So there are times that you could take your cell phone and you could actually, program it to set to you could actually program your cell phone to actually take pictures at a certain time, and just change your face expression. See what works good for you. See what feels good to you, because that's the key. If it feels good, if it feels natural, you are more likely to reciprocate that again when you're in the public. There are a couple of scenarios that I've seen where photographers actually may take a picture and pause. Take a picture and pause. And then there's some photographers that they snap, 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 snap. And your job is to keep up with those changes. So it's very important to have that conversation with the photographer to kind of get a feel for setting the expectation, setting the tone, just having a casual conversation. I'm your model for today, and I just need to know, how do you take pictures? Do you flash? I hear a click and I know to change positions, or do I just hear click, 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 and at that point I'm just in full fluid move and you're going to capture the best picture? Those questions are important. You really want to find that out because you want to get the best pictures for your money that you're spending. And with that said, you want to get some awesome pictures that you can add to your portfolio, some pictures you can share with your friends and social media. So therefore, please take the time to have the conversations with your photographer prior to get a better understanding of exactly what it is that they do, what are their specialties. And again, just looking at the idea of how can you and I collaborate and make an amazing picture. Next slide. We're experiencing just a little bit of technical difficulty. This would be a great time if you wanted to take a sip of something to drink just to relax a little bit more. Again, today is Monday, and if you've had a long day like myself, something nice and, and easy would be a great way to just relax, because we are going to learn some great things here today. And while we're waiting for this to come back for us, I want to take a moment and just say, you know, how important, again, I hate to reiterate, but I just want to make sure that you know, it is very, very important that you just take a few moments to understand what is your model style. Your model style also is kind of tied to why do you want to model. Your why is going to drive exactly the type of pictures that you want. For every different type of photo shoot, there will be so just a quick break, guys. I just want to make sure that you all know that we are actually having technical difficulties. I'm unable to see the slides on this end. However, I'm under the impression that you all are able to see just fine on your end. So if you could give us just a moment. And that is why I haven't joined up with the slides and the communication together. So with that said, I'm going to continue, if you don't mind, until I can get communication on this side that we are ready to go. But yes, you have to understand your reason why. Your why is going to help drive the type of pictures that you want. If you are in modeling just for a portfolio and you want to be, you know, it's a hobby or something of that nature, then you want to pick your attire that fits the model type that you want to do. At that point, it's very important to understand what poses go with that. And I know you're saying, Jeannette, I don't really understand. So I'm going to say this. If you're posing with a skirt on, that's a different pose than if you're posing with pants on. Does that make sense a little bit to you? You're going to carry yourself in a different way if you actually have on pants or skirt and taking photos. So again, you have to tie it to a theme. And if your theme and your poses are matching up just nicely, then the whole picture overall will come together and it will be precisely as you want it. So it's important to think about what it is that you're going to wear when you start thinking about your poses. It's kind of like going to church and you've got on your nice church dress. You wouldn't walk and carry yourself as if you had on a pair of sneakers and jeans. So that's what I'm saying. When you're there on that photo shoot, you're conducting yourself as a lady, and your pictures are going to come off as very ladylike because your attire is perfect, and you just now have to match up those poses. The poses should come off very soft, very elegant to match your theme. You are responsible for that portion. I will tell you that I do know that most photographers are expecting you to already know how to pose. And it slows them down. And it means you're going to be at a photo shoot a little bit longer if they have to teach you or show you every little pose. If they have to tell you, hey, put your hand on your hip here and turn your hip this way. If they have to stop what they're doing and come over and show you how they want you to lean or bend or smile, you really are making that photographer work a little bit harder than they intended to. So hopefully this training will give you some insight, some options of how to pose in different scenarios. So I am going to switch gears a little bit. And I think if you guys can give me just 2 minutes. Okay. Okay. Shauna. Okay, I'm almost with you guys here. I am going to try to manually pull this up so that we can continue forward. Just need a moment. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Okay, I see the screen is changing, but I don't quite see the slide deck as of yet. Not yet. Okay. I'm going to pause my camera for 1 second. I can hear you. Hear you. Um, let's see. Hmm. So what today is the 16th. I don't see anything. Still can't see anything. Okay. Okay. So I think everyone I'm not sure if you're getting the same information we're getting. Thank you for your time and your patience. My understanding is we're having technical difficulties. I am working with the team to identify the issue, and we will have this. We're going to attempt to have this issue resolved by tomorrow. Again, we will try this again tomorrow, but for today, we will conclude. And we'll try to resolve this issue and come back tomorrow at 7 p.m. for a start over. So apologies for the delay. Again, we're having technical issues, and we will conclude today's support mission. Okay? Thanks so much, and have a good night, everyone.